Doc Rampaggio here from Doomkick TV with another toy unboxing. Today I'm looking at Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S figures. I'm looking at a weapon set, a skeleton, and a blank female. As you can see, they've already been opened. I'm going to get right in now. Going to, as usual, start with the bad. And what's really bad? This skeleton is really bad. First off, the arm broke the second I took it out of the package, which, you know, does happen. Toys break sometimes, I understand that, and as many people have pointed out on social media, all I have to do is contact Boss Fight for a replacement, which I would sure hope would be the case. However, my problems with this figure go far beyond a broken joint on the elbow, which, by the way, if the pegs weren't tiny, would not have broken right out of the box, likely. Might I also add, over on the Doomkick Facebook page, where a lot of the hate of my opinion of these guys has been generated, one of the employees of Boss Fight has actually been liking all the negative stuff people have said towards me, but she has yet to actually comment on the picture, which, you know, maybe if someone's unhappy with their product and you're actually seeing that real time, you should try and make it right instead of just liking people who are white knighting you without even looking at what's being posted. Alright, so this skeleton is super thin and fragile. His legs are all warped because they're too thin to support anything. The joints do not work very well. The leg has a double hinge. The foot has a swivel hinge. The thigh is a swivel hinge. But with the bent legs, it's really hard to get a natural stance out of this guy. The elbow is swivel hinge. The broken elbow was also swivel hinge, but it broke. The head is on a ball joint with not a lot of up, but a little bit of side to side and down movement. There's an articulated jaw. And there is a couple of joints. Or is that a joint? Yep, there's a joint at the waist and at the center of the chest. So you think this guy would be pretty posable, but he's really not, because the thinness of the plastic makes moving him around hard. His legs are all bent and warped out of the package because they're too thin. I mean, I don't even know if you can see it properly, but look how small that peg is. That is not an acceptable peg to put on a production action figure, especially one that raised over $400,000 on Kickstarter. Is this a $400,000 figure? No, it is definitely not. Now, if they were going for anatomical correctness, then they may have done a good job. However, you should not go for complete accuracy at the expense of your action figure. And that is what happened here. This thing is way too thin. The plastic is too fragile. This is prone to breaking. You know, I've seen people on Instagram say they had the same problem. I've seen a lot of people also saying that they've had no problem, which is great, but you shouldn't have to be ginger with a production action figure, especially by guys who touted again and again their industry experience in their campaign, which is my main beef, because if you've been following the campaign, and I posted an article last year on Doomkick about this, they made a lot of mistakes that people with vast industry experience would not make. Even people with a modicum of industry experience would not make mistakes like this. They traveled to China multiple times. Now, you don't even have to go to China to get a quality action figure produced, but it does help. So honestly, after I posted my article last year about the problems I was seeing with the way they were doing things, I was fully expecting to be proven wrong, because I figured, hey, they're going to China a bunch, they're probably going to deliver some pretty good figures. This is not a figure you get from going to China multiple times. If you're going to China multiple times and getting a figure of this quality still, there's something wrong. This is a pose skeleton from Remint. This is a little bit smaller than the Boss Fight skeleton, but this figure costs $8. Actually, it costs less than $8. It's very posable. It's not fragile at all. You can really move this guy around all you want. I have never had any problems with him. Their swivels hinge everywhere. Less than $8. This tiny thin guy here, this is $13 for an unpainted. $13. Now, October Toys did their Skeleton Warriors with skeletons very close to the scale. Those weren't fragile and thin. Rement does their skeletons. Those aren't fragile and thin. And both of those skeletons cost less than this skeleton does. So I don't quite see what the point of buying this is, especially with the thin pegs that are prone to break. This is not a good figure. Do not buy these figures. Do not buy boss fight skeletons. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're not good skeleton figures. And this took almost 2 years to be delivered. 2 years. Boss Fight Studios raised over $400,000 of other people's money before anyone had a product, and took 2 years to deliver, and went to China a bunch, and they still delivered a shoddy action figure like this. I will be getting this replaced for the simple fact that I don't want to pay $13 for a figure that broke right out of the box. Will I ever probably play with the replacement skeleton? Doubtful. Will that break if I take it out of the package? Possibly. I'm sure many people have had some that didn't break, but the quality of this figure is not good. I can't stress that enough. However, their humanoid figures are a little bit of a different story. This is a female blank with parts of the weapon and armor set on her. So here's the full-bodied blank female. I've got the sandaled feet on her. Now the sculpt here is really good. I like the variety of different heads that it comes with. My favorite being this ponytail head. Has a little bit of an articulated ponytail. She also comes with normal feet, and she comes with a bald female head, a short-haired female head, and a kind of featureless, faceless one type head. She also came with 2 sets of hands that are both the exact same, and 2 sets of bare feet, which are the same. And I'm not sure why, because they're all the same. But maybe it's because the pegs on these are also very small and fragile. I'm sure you can't see it, but every single peg I've swapped out on this figure is already showing stress marks. Now, for a line that's supposed to be built on customizing and swapping, why they decided to go with such small pegs, I will never know. It seems like a foolish mistake to me. On the articulation front, they're pretty good. They don't have a thigh swivel, which I thought they did because there's just a line there. They have double hinged knees, swivel hinge feet, an ab joint, swivel hinge elbows, swivel hinge shoulders, and a hinge at the hands. Nope, the second set of hands is also the same articulation. So they are fairly articulated. I would like a bicep swivel. I would definitely like a thigh swivel. But you can get these guys into some pretty good poses. I think the humanoid figures are pretty decent for the price. They're definitely good in the current era we live in, where there's not a lot of Joes coming out, and the 3.75 figures are less than they were a few years ago. But I just don't know if this is a $400,000 figure, and I definitely don't know if it's a 2-year figure. I think if you were to buy these, I would suggest these, definitely. I would not suggest the skeletons. The weapon set came with a bunch of stuff. You can see on the back of the box there. It came with the boss fight stand, 2 shields, male armor, male helmet, and a full set of female armor, snake headdress, sheath, 3 swords, 2 axes, and a spear. The weapon set's pretty cool, but I have issues with that also. The shields are neat, but the way they are designed in the back, a character wearing the wrist armor could not wield this shield, which is stupid. That's dumb. Why would you make that so not all your figures can wear that? And both of the shields are like that. This is the regular Spartan shield, and you can see on the back it's still got the cuff. I don't know why just some wrist holes or a handle wouldn't have sufficed. Both the figures and the weapon set comes with a boss fight stand, and the armor is pretty nice. So 50-50. The skeleton sucks and is garbage. The humanoid figure is okay. What I don't understand is why so many people are white knighting this company. I mean, I get that people who back Kickstarters don't want to admit they backed a loser, but why is everyone defending these guys so much? If they release a shoddy product like the skeleton, they need to be taken to task for it, because you know these guys are going to be back with round 2 on Kickstarter asking for more of your money before projects are even started. I disagree with that business model. I think it's fine if you want to use Kickstarter to get off the ground. I don't think you should keep using it again and again. And I don't think once you're established, you should be using Kickstarter. I think there's plenty of guys out there who have self-funded, and you know what? If this skeleton came from most of those guys, people would be freaking the fuck out right now. But for some reason, Boss Fight gets a pass, which I don't understand. I've heard people say, oh, they're great guys. You know what? That might be true. They might be the nicest people in the world, but that does not excuse you from releasing a shoddy product, and it shouldn't. And that should not get you any kind of leeway. If you're going to get into the indie toy scene, you need to deliver a good product off rip, because there's a lot of guys out there doing it, working their asses off, and not on Kickstarter asking for money for it. And when they release a shoddy product like this, if this was someone's first foray into indie toys, this could be their last foray into indie toys. So when Boss Fight releases a shoddy product, it makes everyone making indie toys look bad. And as I count myself as one of those dudes with the Algors, I can't abide that. I don't understand why people want a white knight for these guys so much. They're probably fine guys. They released a decent product with the Humanoids, but this skeleton is garbage. This skeleton is just trash. I have no other way to say it. And I don't think they should get a pass on this. I think they need to seriously consider upping the quality of these figures before they even think about starting a second Kickstarter. They need to deliver a better product than this. This is Doc Rampagio, DKTV. We'll catch you next time. Peace.